What is AI?
I met someone the other day and she said, oh, AI recommends me to just now go for it. I was like, oh, wait. Now that's a very huge decision.
Can AI become a therapist?
They can do everything that a human can do.
Are these jobs going to get redundant with time?
Whatever you're saying, it is getting recorded.
Have you exposed your child to AI?
Let's just stop getting scared of AI first.
Do you think AI can evolve to being a friend? Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Found Hers podcast. Today we're diving into the world of AI. Not the creepy techie kind, but the kind that is creeping into our shopping bags, our relationships, and even our jobs. Our guest for today, Jisha Nenwani Sharma, is going to break down how you can use AI for your benefit. Hi Jisha, how are you doing today?
I am all well. How are you?
I'm good. Are you excited to deep dive into the world of AI?
And excited to be here with you too.
Glad.
Yes.
So first, let's talk about this new thing that's taking over Twitter or X as we know it now. Sam Altman tweeted saying that thank you and saying sorry to ChatGPT actually costs billions of dollars. So what is all this all about?
So the moment we say anything to ChatGPT, it needs to process the response because it's a processor.
Okay.
Hence, everything takes the energy and the resources. So ChatGPT is actually a generative model.
Okay.
And that's why no matter what you say to it, it needs to process it. So think of it as a library and there's a librarian. You ask for some information. She has to do some bit of processing, if not all. So that's how it works as well.
Okay. So when you're describing ChatGPT, who is ChatGPT? Is ChatGPT a person, a human, a technology, a librarian, or a reservoir of just all the world's knowledge? Yeah. Who is ChatGPT?
So technically, it's called a large language model, and
Okay.
GPT is the OpenAI's model behind it.
Okay.
And otherwise, it's as real as like all the different experts combined into one.
Okay.
With emotional intelligence, also with all the training.
Okay.
So it's way more real than you would want it to be, and that's why these thank yous and sorries happen, because it gets us in the emotion of believing that we are actually talking to a human. But of course, it's not human, it's technology.
It's still technology, but
it is 100%.
Tries to mimic as if you're having a conversation with a human.
Yeah.
And that's when you see, I didn't know, I would say thank you to ChatGPT if they helped me with a good idea. I would be like, thank you so much. And they'd be like, oh, you're welcome. Don't worry. You can come to me anytime.
I do it all the time too. Like, Sam Altman, it's your problem. Deal with
it. Fair. And with data privacy being such a big factor now, many phones, every software, even Meta in itself, whenever you're running ads, it tells you, okay, there's a certain count of data privacy which you don't get into. You don't get to know what the customer wants. So in cases like this, how is ChatGPT going to keep, or any AI platform for that matter, do they have access to that privacy, or that privacy is still...
Everything. They have access to everything. So my first interaction with AI many years back, there was this R language which was pretty popular. So we were sitting in a meeting room and accessing LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram wasn't that popular back then, data. And I could literally see who wrote when in the personal chat window as well, using some of the code bits.
Oh.
So yes, it is accessible. But as I said, the way I use ChatGPT, I like to think, well, I am not Bill Gates or Sam Altman that everyone's looking at every single word I'm saying. So just go bindas and use it right now. But yes, they do have access to all your data.
Yeah. I guess you just have to kind of be aware of that, right? Like, because people still believe that, oh, what is that line of data privacy? How much should I feed in? Going to the Ghibli trend, people are feeding in personal images.
Yes.
Where's that going?
You're right, but that has been there for social media too, right? Like, people have been putting it out there for ages now. And I think this is the area which gets into ethical and responsible AI.
Yeah.
AI is amazing, but yes, like people like us who are building it, we have to ensure that we build it ethically, ensure that we're being responsible about what are the kind of uses we are giving via that.
Yeah. Canva recently released a lot of other aspects, making coding so simple for a person using AI. Are these jobs going to get redundant with time?
Well, I'll be lying if I say no.
Okay.
Yes, there will be some jobs that will get redundant. But this is why it's classic time to upskill or reskill yourself.
Okay.
So there are new jobs being created also. Like, let me give you an
Yeah.
example. We all know that, say, there is this beautiful technology, lovable.ai.
Okay.
You just write the description, give it the right context, and you can get your whole website application
Yeah.
created in matter of minutes, right? Now, at the same time, AI and in general technology deals with a lot of data. So now that data needs to be annotated. Like we speak about training all the time.
Yeah.
So, for example, as simple as this, if there's an image of me sitting here,
Yeah.
some data is needed wherein there is an annotation of this color, like what
Hmm.
color this is, and this is a pant and this is a top,
Yeah.
right? So, this kind of annotation is needed. So, this is called pre trained data. So,
Okay.
data annotator as a profession never existed, but it exists now, right? So, there are many new jobs also coming into play with
Okay.
AI. So, will some of these roles get redundant? Yes. And hence, wake up. Time is now to reskill yourself.
I hear you when you say that, but again, that firstly, it scared me when you said no. I was like, okay, half my business, half my people. But,
Yeah.
it's still a lot technical to be able to manage that when you say upskilling. As a designer, my tools are on how can I create the best social media creative or a brand logo. Uh, what sort of an upskilling will I need in order to fit into the new AI world when AI is doing it? Is it the fact that I learn how to put in the
Yeah.
prompt, or like,
You're right. No, you're very right. There is very little hand holding available for
yeah,
people. So I think people who are in technology, they understand how to upskill
yes,
themselves, right?
yeah,
Because they were close to technology. But there's a huge population, I think 80% who's not in technology or
yeah,
technology relevant business. For them, all of a sudden, this whole buzz for AI seems like a huge, far fetched goal. But what I suggest to a lot of my clients, friends, and
yeah,
founders that I work with, that let's just stop getting scared of AI first, right? The way to look at it is think of this one, two, or three problems and opportunities that you want to use for your own business. Forget AI and tech. Just simply forget AI and tech for that
okay,
activity. Now you have these top three problems and use cases. Then just simply go and search that what is the AI tools or technology available to help me with this task. That's the bare minimum. So when you take an approach of delivering value to your business via AI or
yeah,
delivering value or like productivity via AI, do that focused search. Whatever tool tech you find, read about it. Trust me, using some of these AI tools is as simple as shopping on your mobile phone.
okay,
So we shouldn't be scared about it. The problem in the
yeah,
industry is, which we try to solve through our Veda courses as well, is that the moment you think about AI, there's all of this coding thing, right? And
yeah,
there are many people who just don't want to code, right? They were
yeah,
not meant to do that. So there is lack of clarity on how do you use simply use
yeah,
AI for business. There's this now you will see a lot of more handheld courses coming in there. We are also in that space,
okay,
but I agree, it sounds scary, but as long as you use the approach of the problem or
yeah,
opportunity you want to use AI for, simple steps, and just ensure that every week probably you're learning a new tool.
yeah.
Trust me, it's very simple.
So you mentioned you're building AI, and I think Vida is your brand that you're building as a
Yes.
fashion tech company. Can you tell us a little bit about how did you get into AI and what is it that you're building?
So how did I get into AI? It just happened, right? Like I belong to a very typical doctor engineer generation.
Okay.
I didn't want to cut anything, so I was like, let's become an engineer, right? And then, of course, I loved problem solving. I think that's what kept me hooked to it because it was such an evolving industry. And as I was in tech, I was in
Yeah.
AI too. Now, how fashion tech happened? I saw that fashion industry was underserved with technology.
Yeah.
There were definitely problems that could be solved in new way using AI. Like one typical problem is, for example, problem of returns. It's a globally $300 billion problem, which
Oh,
can be solved via technology.
okay. Wow.
And that's where Vida is. So it's an AI for fashion that solves the problem of returns by solving the problem of choice. And now we are adding the sizing element to it.
Oh, wow. So you're basically, I like how you're using AI to just solve consumer problems. how do you go around creating and understanding the gap and then using AI? Like, where is this data being fed in that then AI is going to go and recommend it to me? What type of fit I should wear, how should I look, etc.
Yeah, no, great question. So we do it in three different ways. One is, of course, first of all, our technology is built with a lot of user insight. So we have regular user industry interviews
Okay.
at a global level. Only then we build features and
Yeah.
we continuously test and follow different approaches like A/B testing to ensure the product is built right. Now, how are we ensuring the personalization aspect?
Yeah.
One is definitely we have customer data basis past history.
Okay.
Again, in the in regard of ethical and responsible AI, we ensure that whichever client we work with, we ensure we're using the right data in the right
Okay.
manner and have utmost security. So we have the past history. Then we have similar we call it personas.
Okay.
Like people like you, what are
Huh.
they buying? We have that data. And
Okay.
third, what we have is prompts for you from you. So we try to keep it
Okay.
minimal, but like I am looking for a very chic look for an evening, but
Yeah.
I like casual. And then last but not the least, with the history, we know your click-throughs,
Yeah.
right? We know which thing did you prefer.
Got
So the
it.
next time, for example, you're someone who always skips a spaghetti top, for
Yeah.
example, and you always enjoy some interesting sleeves.
Yeah.
So then we know that, okay, that's how now you have to order your stuff.
Oh, that's interesting. I think so. The more people that end up using your platform, the more the AI will keep evolving and developing and developing,
Indeed,
right?
Indeed.
And currently, you're focused mainly in India, like for Indian consumers.
We just went global this year,
Oh,
so
wow.
hopefully it will become like 3 different territories this year onwards.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. We have got AI, AR, and MR, all which are different but often kind of confused by an individual. Can you break this down for me as to what do these really mean and how are they really used in business?
So it's not just these three, actually, there are
Okay.
many different fields within AI. So let's start from general terminology.
Yeah.
There is artificial general intelligence, wherein there is leaps and bounds of progress, but it is not there yet. What it means is they can do everything that a human can do, right? Like you would have seen robots that can clean the table,
Yeah.
and it's a huge deal, but it's so easy for us humans, right? So that's one area of AI where there has been progress, more is to be done.
Yeah.
Then there is narrow AI, where there is amazing work. Like, say,
Okay.
for example, even say breast cancer detection in
Yeah.
cancer, right?
Yeah.
Brilliant results there.
Okay.
So in the narrow areas, AI is doing already well, and you would have heard the term agents, right? AI
Yes,
agents. So
yes.
agentic AI is becoming pretty popular, wherein specific areas, operation processes can be solved by AI.
Yeah.
Now within AI, there are various streams, right? Like there is natural language processing, there is computer vision, right? Like Tesla, for
Yes,
example, it
yes.
works primarily on computer vision
Yeah.
as well as NLP. But computer vision is wherein, what we can see and figure out as humans, AI can do that in a layman's language.
Okay.
Natural language processing is when we are talking, you already understand what I mean, and you probably understand more because of
Yeah.
my body language. So it's all those elements. So there are various streams, like AR is augmented reality, VR is virtual reality.
Yeah.
So there are multiple streams within AI, which are ways of using AI, or we also say different new ways of solving old problems.
Got it. But the crux of it is AI. It's artificial intelligence that is
yes.
being stemmed into different.
Totally.
Okay. Fair enough. But then, from what I'm understanding, ChatGPT is just like a library of all the information that's available in the world that they can access. So, is it just remixing that and giving me results, or is it actually processing the question and giving unique answers or solutions to everybody that's feeding in data or feeding prompts?
It is unique for sure.
Okay.
So think of it like this. Like today, you ask me questions for AI,
Yeah.
right? Now, if 10 different people ask me the same question, I might not give the exact same answer,
Yeah.
but 80% will remain the same.
Yeah.
It's the same with ChatGPT also. Now, how am I giving that answer, right? One is my knowledge,
Yeah.
right? Second is intuition, and third is wisdom. So that's what ChatGPT also uses.
Okay.
But the way it does is, like a child when we grow, like when we are born versus like I am 42 right now, I learn, right? And the answer I would have given 10 years back is not the same that I give
Yeah.
now. So ChatGPT has learned from many, but it is personalized. It's fairly personalized.
Yeah. AI is just a technology that's there. It's not seeing the body language while I'm probably expressing myself.
Yeah.
So, how is AI being able to read into that when a person is kind of sending in prompts?
Yeah. So there is an interesting concept of context,
Okay.
right? So in all these ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, as you mentioned, there is an important aspect of setting the context. So think of it like this. For example, you take any consulting session, any field, right? Personal, professional, spiritual, any field. You always set the context. You share about who you are.
Yeah.
What is your problem? What are some of the assumptions and constraints? So while likes of ChatGPT cannot look at you, hence you have to ensure that you set the context. So it can be something like this, like this is my name, this is my age, and I have a 15-year-old boy, and he is very enthusiastic about football, but in grade 10, I am struggling to balance between the two fields as a career counselor as well as a mental therapy professional. Guide me on how do I deal with him. So like this is the context, and the longer the context is, maybe in a session you might take 15-20 minutes to set the context. So I always suggest that set that context for 5-10 minutes, then it does wonders. I think it's the one of the most knowledgeable sounding board. If used right, it can do wonders for you.
I did hear this recently from a client of mine. She is literally 50, okay, and I still take time to adapt to ChatGPT, but she just told me, she was like, you know what, the way I have fed the data to ChatGPT, next time you want to write a post, go talk to ChatGPT, because it's able to pick on me so well. And every time we write something, she goes to ChatGPT and actually has like a reflection. And I see a lot of people do that, but there's a thin line, right? Because sometimes you can easily cross that reflection when it gets a little bit personal, or when it gets a little bit more, I would say, difficult to manage, because every case is very different. So what is that line when it comes to talking to AI?
Yeah, I think that line is very blurry, just like in life. But some of the things I say that we should be cautious of. The moment you go on internet or social media, just know you're putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
Right? Like whatever you're saying, it is getting recorded. And someone else now knows, and maybe that someone else is in thousands, right? If you're comfortable with that fact, right, just go ahead and assess. And also it could be seen the other way around. Like, I wish I was in a place where everyone was accessing every single thing I say, right? People are not, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's busy. So now how to not, rather I would say we should think about this. How do we use AI as a collective intelligence ecosystem?
Okay.
AI can be this knowledgeable, understanding friend or an expert that you can pull 24/7. So as long as we see it in that light, honestly, we don't even need to worry about the line. But yes, there's always those data security issues. We all know, right? Like all the Facebook data, it's used in various ways. So it's like that literal trust factor. As much as you can say trust a bank to take care of your belongings, so your trust for say like an HDFC versus a new local bank will vary. Similarly, your trust for a reputed technology and the player and a new one should vary. You should think about that.
Just about this now, talking about India, I guess this is something that's there abroad as well. But when you're in India and when you're creating content or you're trying to tap into the consumer's mind, people are craving human touch. They're wanting that authenticity. But with AI coming in, I'm confused. Is AI going to be that person who's going to be able to continue authenticity, or the human touch is always going to be something that consumers want, which is going to not get them to adapt to AI? What is your take on that?
The human touch will always be needed. Nothing beats that. And I can bet on it with whoever I need to debate this with. That's never going away. I think human touch, creativity, and technology together are phenomenal.
Okay.
And so these three things is where, the sweet spot always lies. And there are many examples of the same. Like, say this, if I was chatting to a bot, will it ever be the same?
No.
It's just, and also, what makes all of us different? is that story.
Yes.
Like every human has a story. When you're
Exactly.
looking at me, when you see, oh, she's 42,
Yeah.
what is her story like,
Yeah.
right? So there's this curiosity.
Yeah.
And when you know that it's a being, which like it's not a being and someone has just made it, there is no story attached to it. There are many these, you would have seen these meta influencers which are becoming popular.
Yes, yes.
There is a wave, but just me, they're nowhere even close to the real influencer.
Yeah.
So that's a living example
Yeah.
that AI, again, kind of repeating my words here, AI used as a collective intelligence with humans can only bring more creative solutions.
Yeah.
Either or no. I mean, and if you're also on the totally other end and you're saying, oh my God, I'm not going to use technology and AI, I'm sorry, then you're fooling yourself now. So please start using it.
Yeah. No, I guess I was there last year. I was not using.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call you a fool though.
No, I think I needed to hear that because
Yeah.
when my team came to me and said, probably just try it. And now, how much it helps me, even for this podcast, right?
Yeah.
Like, even though all the research is done manually, I still feed it into AI to see, okay, is there something different that you can give me a prompt, anything, that can just help advance it. Because if everybody is using it, of course, at some point, you're going to kind of end up using it. I follow these two content creators, Arjun Vaidya and Finance with Sharan, and they've been posting AI-based content of themselves. So they've got an AI to exactly look and feel like them, talk like them, and they put that content out. For example, if there's something that's happened extremely topical, in 2 hours, an AI video goes out. And it works. They get the engagement. Is it because of the topic or is it because of AI?
It's both. As I said, what they are doing really great is if you see they are mixing their human aspect and technology and figured out a creative solution.
Yeah, okay.
So, and that's actually the word about. You must, I would say, everyone who's listening to this podcast, right away should go today, as we have said ChatGPT many times, just go learn ChatGPT.
Yeah.
One should learn these tools because as you yourself see, right, when you learn how to scale using them or how do you creatively use technology and or AI as a differentiating factor, that does put you aside in a competitive market.
Yeah.
So why not?
Yeah.
Say I am an expert consultant in AI with depth in fashion and education, right? Now, there is only these many hours in the day and these many clients I can deal with, right? I may hire two, like, maybe some 8-ish or 10-ish years experienced people. I may coach them regularly. So when I'm not available, I may, kind of have clients work with them. And we do that, right?
Okay.
Now, the thing is, as long as I am being honest, that it's not me, but it's my junior. But yes, I do kind of train them, mentor them. And I don't expect them to pay the same amount of money. I think it's fine. So same is the case with AI, right? Like if I'm using AI to scale myself, it's fine. As long as the person receiving the service knows that I am engaging with AI and has the right to make the decision that do I still want to engage with it or not.
I'm currently noticing we're working with this platform called Big AI. They're basically helping with CRM and customer service can be really, really revolutionized if people and business founders use AI in the right way.
Right.
Again, in something like this, right? Indian consumers are, of course, very evolving. But when you say, let's talk about globally, you've got a Europe market which is different, an American market which is different. You've got Australians which are different in purchasing. There, of course, are general traits that can tell you the customer behavior because that's how marketing has been working till now. Where do you see the best use of AI when it comes to business?
So for customer service, I think we haven't seen that kind of service because people struggle to use AI and technology, right?
Yeah.
It is not about that the technology doesn't exist. It's about people either putting in their own agenda and just using it whatever way they like, or getting in wrong tech or wrong relationships, etc., to figure out what's the journey. For customer service, right now you can ace it using technology and AI.
Okay.
If we are not experiencing it as yet, yes, we are not. It's only because people haven't paid that kind of attention, worked with the right technology and followed it through, dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's. If they do that, we're already there.
Interesting. You mentioned, and I did see this while we were studying about you, that you have a child. And have you exposed your child to AI?
Oh, yes. Oh my
Yeah.
God. I want to expose him less. Like, he just asked ChatGPT for the answers or Google the answer directly. I'm like, dude, process.
Yeah.
But yes, rather, I have, we would take a pause. First of all, he consults me in Vida. Like, he tells
Oh,
me what next is to be done. So,
wow.
yes, like, he is one of my stakeholders.
Yeah.
And other than that, yes, whatever new tool I see, or
Yeah.
the agent, or even some programming, I ensure he sees that, and he uses a lot of that in regular day as well.
But like you said, he starts asking questions to ChatGPT over his mother. Is that okay? Like, how do you think that's going to...
It's okay. That saves me time, yeah.
Of
Totally
having some
okay.
awkward conversation.
Yeah, as long as, like, of course, sometimes children start using AI for convenience,
Yeah.
which is detrimental to their career and, growth more than the
Yeah.
career.
Yeah.
That bit is, kind of tricky, but then a teenager will teenage, right? So that's fine.
There is this huge industry, which is the healthcare industry. And that area becomes very, very touchy. Let's just keep it to that.
Yeah.
We trust Netflix to give us recommendations using their AI model for movies, but are we really going to trust healthcare giving or AI giving us reports about our health?
We should see where is it coming from. Like, say, for example, I go to this Hiranandani hospital, right? Now, if this AI is under the supervision
Yeah.
of the doctors I trust,
Hmm.
yes, then I should. But still, I know it's technology. Like a human, technology can make error as well. So it is good for initial analysis, but I would still go consult a doctor. But you know what? Like, where I think it should be used more, like, a doctor should definitely use AI. Why? Because sometimes, we all go through life. Sometimes, you're not in that state of mind.
Yeah.
Sometimes it might just not strike you. So rather, if as a doctor, I'm using AI and I just punch your symptoms, and before saying it is this,
Yeah.
I just check, and the AI says that, okay, 80% people had problem A with these symptoms, 20% had problem B. Right? So now that doctor knows that right now I may give medication for problem A, but there is a 20% possibility of that problem B. I think that use has to happen more for sure.
Yeah.
Consumer side, yes. I mean, like, some of the uses you can, like, say, in physiotherapy,
Yeah.
it does some interesting stuff. But in simpler terms, wherever there's a cost of error which is low, AI is there. Use it in fashion, use it for health, fitness,
Yeah.
etc. Wherever the cost of error is high,
Yeah.
a human in loop works really well.
Yeah. A human in loop, right?
Yes, like in this case, a doctor.
Right. Can AI become a therapist?
It's a very sensitive topic. I'll tell you why. AI is definitely a lot trained,
Yeah.
right? It can give you initial guidance, and more than that, the thing about scale that we were talking about, like, say, for example, in Bombay, a normal mental therapist will charge you maybe rupees 3,000 a session.
Yeah.
It's not affordable for everyone,
Yeah.
right? And ChatGPT is for free, right? So, like, initial guidance, at least, like, rather not having it and not talking to a human, talk to
Yeah.
someone. From that perspective, it's great.
Yeah.
At the same time, the AI can be as good as the context you set. What I see
Okay.
lacking is, like, if you directly ask the question, I have this problem, what should I do? And now the way currently ChatGPT works is it feels the pressure of responding than asking 10 questions. So I think one change that has to happen in technology is, before answering to questions like mental therapy, the like ChatGPT probably should ask 10 more questions to be sure, and then also always recommend that please go to a therapist as well. Like, that all has to happen. But like, right now in the current state that it does help you understand the situation better. So how I would say you can use it is, first, give the complete context. Ask ChatGPT to act as your mental therapist, so that then the person,
Yeah.
the ChatGPT knows that that's how we keep saying person, like that's how real it has become. So then it knows that it has to act as a mental therapist, and then maybe use it more for understanding that the problem you're facing. And then when the solution is provided,
Yeah.
if it is like a no regret move, or like wouldn't impact you, like say if it says do this breathing exercise, I'm like, it's only going to do you good, then
Yeah.
do it, right? If it says do art, music, dance, do it. But if it says, oh, you know what, go, like say, I mean, I see a lot of divorces happening here, unfortunately.
Oh,
If it
using
says,
AI?
I mean, like, yeah, I mean, like people are using AI for mental therapy. And then I met someone the other day and she said, oh, AI recommends me to just now go for it. I was like, oh, wait. Now that's a very huge decision.
Yeah.
So the moment there is a suggestion, while AI doesn't directly recommend that, that was her perception
Yeah.
also, right?
Fair
It may
enough.
have sent something like, oh, you may want to consider
consider.
something like that. I don't know what it exactly said. But like in those radical steps in something as sensitive as mental health, where you're already not able to think clearly,
Yeah.
please don't take radical steps. So to summarize it, to understand what's happening with you and what is the problem, to get closer to the problem, yes, use it. Solution, as long as it's very simple, no regret, is going to do you good, do it. If it's radical, please get a human in loop again.
Yeah. As a founder, what parts of my business or what tasks, because as a founder, you're carrying so many hats.
Yeah.
What aspects of my business in my early stages, when I don't have that much manpower, can I optimize by using AI?
For sure, 100%. I have used this a lot of times, that people say, oh, you're a solo founder, how do you manage it all? I said,
Yeah.
no, I have a co-founder in me. And they're like, who? I'm like, AI. Right? So for sure. So I'll tell you, like from my own live,
Yeah.
I have an assistant called Gigi, which is purely AI.
Okay.
It takes care of my calendaring, responding to emails, etc.
Oh, wow.
Right? So I do that. Then second, I use ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity very often for a sounding board expert,
Okay.
alongside my expert industry friends. So that's the second space. Third, I do use AI a lot for divergent thinking. You know what I've seen? Like the biggest common thing that I hear from all the founders is they say it's sometimes very lonely. Like, I don't know who to talk to.
Yeah.
Right? So AI is that great sounding board.
Yeah.
So you use it for that. Then even for tasks like content, like say if you're a D2C brand, I mean, again, nothing takes away the creativity that a photographer who spends 2 days with you brings in, and the response you would see is phenomenal. Nothing beats that. But if you're just testing the waters, you're figuring it out, and say you've launched a beauty brand or an apparel brand, use AI to create the initial content. And it's not just the cataloging, even to create your initial designs.
Okay.
Right now, there's technology available that you can actually put it out there, have people buy, and we call it a fake door test. And the moment people click on it, you can say, oh, coming soon, kind of a thing.
Okay.
So yeah, for content, there's huge.
Yes.
So it's like the areas where you need help, be it your business strategy, where you're looking for a sounding board, or like say, be it your actual day-to-day operations or your personal productivity. I use AI day-to-day. Like maybe I am able to work 16 hours of day by spending 8 or 10 hours because of AI.
Oh, wow. You're able to optimize your time so much more.
Totally.
Nice. Do you think AI will ever be my admin, managing my income, expenses, managing all the office stuff?
I think for the 80% of tasks that are,
Yeah.
sorry, the 20% of the tasks that are done 80% of the times, yes.
Yeah.
It's already there.
Okay.
It's a matter of you using it.
Okay. What is your piece of advice to people who are still probably feeling overwhelmed after listening to this conversation with AI? What is your piece of advice to them?
I would say AI is as simple as shopping or listening to music on your phone. As soon as you shut this off, just look for this first tool for your area and just start using it. Within a week's time, you will be in awe with it.
Okay. Thank you. I think this was a very, very interesting conversation. You did bust a very big myth for me, is it's not AI and us, it's AI and us. We have to learn how to adapt to AI
Yeah.
and not treat it like an enemy, because we did that well with every other technology that was introduced in humankind. But AI is something we're getting so scared of because of how advanced it is. But
Yeah.
actually, if you adapt to it, you can actually make so much more use of your time, of your resources,
Yeah.
and just, yourself as a person. And I think you're an inspiration for that, being in this year for 20 years and still kind of learning AI so much quicker than a youngster like me as well. So, of course, I think it gives a lot of hope. And yeah, I hope whoever's watching this episode goes back and now starts exploring little AI in there every
Yeah.
day.
No, totally. I would second that. AI is your friend. Use it wisely, but use it. High time now.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, too. I
Yeah.
enjoyed this conversation and being here.
Whether AI excites you or terrifies you, it's there to be here. So please adapt it instead of fearing it. And that's what this episode is all about. I hope it gave you the motivation to now go to ChatGPT and be like, how can I use AI to make my
Yeah.
life better? Please like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next one.